31-13. 31-13. Guys, I'm going to be honest. Pathetic, terrible, disgusting, gross, embarrassing. All I asked for before this game was to be competitive. Now, before the game, that seemed like a fair ask, right? George Kittle was out. Richard Sherman was out, right? All these guys were out. Deebo Samuel out. And then we get into the game. Nick Bosa goes out. Solomon Thomas goes out. Jimmy Garoppolo goes out. Raheem Mostert goes out. No starting running back. No starting quarterback. Missing receivers. Missing tight end. Missing key playmakers on the defense. Like, come on. Come on. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Embarrassing. Oh, God. It's only week 2, man. I thought last year, right? Last year, the Jets, brutal loss to the Bills, right? They have the 16-0 lead, then the Bills come back. Man, we let one slip away. That sucks. And then week 2 happens with no Sam Darnold, mononucleosis, and all that crap. And I'm like, geez, it can't get worse than this. The New York Jets right now are the worst team in football. The worst! The worst! And do you know how many bad teams there are in football? A lot! And the Jets are numero uno. The only thing they're number 1 in. Good night! Adam Gase, how do you still have a job, man? You suck! I thought you sucked when you were in Miami. I thought you sucked when you got fired. I thought you sucked when you got hired by the Jets. And everything has just confirmed my beliefs that you suck. You suck so bad that all the basic things that a high school football coach should be able to succeed at. Okay? Let's go through the goddamn notes here, okay? Play calling. On 3rd and 18, he ran the ball. 3rd and 18, we're talking about the first half, people, when it was still a game. 3rd and 18, he went to the run. Apparently he was on to something because San Francisco converted a 3rd and 31 running the football. Come on, man. What the bleep? What the bleep? This football team sucks. Adam Gase sucks. You hear this play going? Oh, I'm not done. How about when they settle for a field goal? Okay, 7-3 ball game. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? What are you settling for a field goal? And oh my God, if I see one more wide receiver screen on 3rd and long, I'm going to throw myself off a cliff. Terrible. Just terrible. Terrible play calling. But what about when it's 3rd and short and they throw it short of the sticks? It's 3rd down, man. And then you punt. They were punting in the 4th quarter when it was a 3-score game. They were kicking field goals when it was a 3-score game. And guess what they did? Yeah, here's a little nugget. It was 24-3, okay? And the Jets could have went for it or they could have kicked the field goal. 24-3, okay? You're down 3 scores. They kick a field goal, 24-6. You're still down 3 scores. Oh my God. I mean, come on, man. That is the definition. You hear this all the time? Whether you play to win the game or you play not to lose the game. Since the opening kickoff in this game, the Jets decided to play not to lose. So many conservative play calls. Sam Darnold gets the garbage touchdown at the end of Braxton Berrios. Woohoo! How am I supposed to feel good about that? The conservative play calling. He had less than 100 yards passing going into the 4th quarter because, of course, that's where the league is going, isn't it? No! Oh, my God. And just to pile on all the crap, and this is why Adam Gase needs to be fired yesterday, is it's not getting any better. Nothing is improving. Nothing is getting better. The brilliant offensive fucking mind that is supposed to be doing things isn't doing jack shit. That's my problem. That's the thing that's bothering me, okay? On top of everything, there's a bunch of crap. The ghost of Jordan Reed, Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi, is beating the Jets. I thought before the game, wow, George Kittle's out. That's a big deal. He's their number one weapon. Oh, no problem. The ghost of Jordan Reed will kill the Jets. The ghost of Jordan Reed. This dude hasn't played a legitimate NFL snap in 2 years. He comes off the scrap heap, and he's crisscrossing Marcus May. And, oh, my God, the tackling. Guys, the tackling. This is basic stuff, man. Wrap up. I'm going to pick on one guy, okay? A guy I like a lot. Bless Austin. Tackle. Do a tackle, okay? Wrap your arms around and secure. None of this nonsense of missing tackles. So many yards were just given up. And, oh, my God. I'm just going to keep going here, ranting, but the linebackers suck for the Jets, okay? There's no speed whatsoever. Avery Williamson was pulled in and out despite making his debut today. Guess the hamstring's still bothering him. Alec Ogletree reminds me of a sloth. He is like moving in slow motion like a Baywatch scene at the beginning, right? Jimmy Garoppolo drops back to pass. And let's get a quick shot of Alec Ogletree. Do, 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 do. Do. And everyone else is going in fast motion. They're going quick. Woo! Raheem Mostert on that opening touchdown. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Come on, man. And they were nitpicking it the whole game. Just whoop, whoop, dink and dunk. And the linebackers couldn't do jack nothing. They couldn't do anything. It was just that slow motion Alec Ogletree. Here I come. Watch out. I'm almost there. Alec Ogletree, you suck. God, all of you suck. And Adam Gase sucks. And it's just a Captain Cup of suck. And if that wasn't enough, okay, so you got the conservative Adam Gase, you have the conservative play calling, and the horrible management, roster management. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? We all know the Jets don't have a number one wide receiver. That seemed pretty obvious and seemed pretty obvious before the season started. But they enter this game with 4 healthy wide receivers, and I can name them, and you may not even know who they are, especially with Jamison Crowder out. Then 2 injuries during the game, and the Jets, Rashad Perriman gets hurt, Chris Hogan gets hurt, and the Jets are left. This is not a typo. This is not a funny joke. No, they were left with freaking Braxton Berrios and Josh Malone. This is a NFL team that was left with 2 healthy wide receivers in this game. Braxton Berrios and Josh Malone. That's it. No one else. That was the healthy wide receivers on this team at the end of the game. Like, how can we evaluate Sam Darnold when he's got goddamn Braxton Berrios and Josh Malone? Who? I mean, come on, people. I talked about it earlier this week on the podcast. Trade for Allen Robinson. Trade for somebody, for God's sakes. But even if they did trade for somebody, do I have any confidence that Adam Gase, brilliant offensive mind, could do anything with it? No, I don't. So, poor roster management. So there's a little nugget for poor roster management. Adam Gase and the play calling is god-awful. And here's one. I do want to go to this. And this was going back to the settling for the field goal. The Jets are at 4th and 1, right? 4th and 1 in the game. The Jets have the momentum. Adam Gase is like, let's go for it. And I'm as a fan base watching it live, I'm like, yeah, baby. Yes, go for it. That's exactly what I want. And then I see him bring Josh Adams in the game, okay? A guy they promoted from their practice squad. Cold turkey, 4th and 1. Let's hand it over to Josh Adams. He gets stuffed in the backfield. Now, sure, you can blame Greg Van Roten for blowing the block. 100%. Blew it. But Josh Adams is the guy you go to? No QB sneak. No naked bootleg. Maybe get Darnold moving and grooving. You know, the things that made him successful in college that led him to be the number 3 overall pick, perhaps? No? Oh, righty then. So, nothing. So I loved the aggressiveness of going for it on 4th and 1. What I did not like was the horrible call to give it to your practice squad running back who had gotten no run any earlier in the game. That's the part I had an issue with. That's the part I have a problem with. The Jets are 0-2. And according to the analytics, they have an 11% chance of making the playoffs now. They have a 0% chance. This team sucks. And the main culprit, the main conductor of the suck train, population everyone on this Jets fan base, is Adam goddamn Gase. What? I have a legitimate question. What more do we have to see for Adam Gase to be fired? Like, what else are we missing? We're like, he hasn't had enough opportunities. Is that the problem? Here's this. Let's since we're dropping fun facts here, over the first 2 weeks of this season, in the both first halves, the Jets have been down 42-6. 42, the other team, 6 for us. This team looks unprepared. They're undisciplined. Okay, they're slow as hell. I just told you about Alec Ogletree. I mean, bad clock management, bad roster management, conservative, no sense of urgency. The fourth quarter, down 30, let's just run the ball. What are we doing? Again, it goes back to playing to win or playing not to lose. And this team continues to lose because Adam Gase is an idiot, a moron, a nincompoop. And it's frustrating as a Jets fan who, before the season, all of us fall in the same trap, right? We're all 0-0. Hey, maybe this is the year. We haven't been to the playoffs in a decade, but maybe this year. And Adam Gase delivers that hot, heaping pile of shit on a platter and says, here you go, Jet fans, yummy. And Chris Johnson goes, this smells great. I can't wait. Can I have a pile of shit too? It tastes fantastic, you brilliant chef, you. Like, oh, God, it's nauseating, man. Again, my question to you guys, all of you out there watching and listening in, what more do we have to see? What am I missing? Maybe I'm the idiot, right? Maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I'm the one who is not interpreting the play calls correctly. Maybe I'm the problem because clearly it doesn't seem like Adam Gase is the problem, according to Christopher Johnson, the man who hired him. And also in that same press conference, this went under the radar, but let's just bring it back up. It's not that we didn't know it. It's that he said it, right? So Adam Gase is his hire. Awesome. I thought it was crappy at the time, but that's his hire. Christopher Johnson says, let's keep Mike Maccagnan. He's our guy. We'll pair him. Of course, that has always worked in history, right? When you pair a brand new head coach with an old GM and they're on the same timeline, that always works, right? Yeah. So, okay, Mike Maccagnan, here's a bunch of money. Spend it wildly in free agency. Woo, YOLO, okay? Hey, why don't you use the draft? Draft whoever you want. It's great. After the draft, woo, yikes. This seems like a mistake. Mike Maccagnan, you're fired. Fired. Okay, you bring in Joe Douglas. Again, I think Joe Douglas is great. I think he has the potential to be great. He obviously has to execute. But Christopher Johnson comes out and says, yeah, I kind of blew that one. Probably should have fired Mike Maccagnan earlier. No shit, man. You probably should have. And then just coming out with it just raised a question in my mind, right? So I believed in Christopher Johnson. He made these decisions, right? And now he's telling me, hey, Paul, I know I messed up with Mike Maccagnan, but Adam Gase, hey, man, he's the real deal. You're just missing it. But if you wait, it'll come. So I'm supposed to believe Christopher Johnson, the same guy who made a mistake in terms of timing with the Mike Maccagnan fire, that I should believe that Christopher Johnson sees something that obviously everyone else on the planet does not see? That seems to be the issue. That seems to be the problem because there's a disconnect right there. And I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. I told you at the beginning of the year that I know there's a lot of people who want to fire Adam Gase. Let's give him a chance. Let's just see. And I've seen it's awful. It's crap. And the Jets offense has done nothing. The reason he was brought in, the reason that Adam Gase was hired is he's a quarterback whisperer. Now, outside of Peyton Manning, the only thing he's been whispering is horrible play calling. That's the only thing we've seen. So he's proven to not to be a quarterback whisperer. He's proven not to be a brilliant offensive mind. And at this point, we're 2 weeks into the season. Okay, are the Bills' defense pretty good? Yeah, sure. Is the 49ers good? Yeah, okay. But guess what? Nick Mullins was in the game. Okay, Jerick McKinnon, who hasn't played a snap in like 2 years, was in the game. No George Kittle, no Deebo Samuel, no Richard Sherman, no Nick Bosa, no Solomon Thomas. Man, I mean, the names go on and on and on. Like, the fact that they weren't competitive before the injuries that happened today is pathetic. Considering the injuries that happened today, like I said, guys like Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Jimmy Garoppolo, Raheem Mostert, who's running all over the Jets, the fact of the matter is that they weren't competitive before that point is insulting. The fact they weren't competitive after that point is even worse. Like, what more do you have to see to me if they fired Adam Gase? Like, as soon as he left the field, I know they're in the middle of their press conferences, but I wanted to jump right into the postgame like we do every week here on the show. So please hit subscribe and join the family. We do this every week, paid for or not. Hopefully at one point we're talking about a win. Not today, but if we do eventually, it'll be right here. We do pre- and post-game shows every week, so hit the subscribe button. But on to this. If Adam Gase walked off that field, Christopher Johnson said, hey, can I talk to you? You're fired. I would say, okay, great, because you know what? He has shown absolutely nothing for you to do anything other than the opposite. I don't care that Christopher Johnson earlier this week said, brilliant offensive mind, I see it. If he immediately turned around and said, you know what? I think I made a mistake. You're fired. You're gonzo. See ya. Hit the door. You're out of here. I would have been fine and dandy. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen. But let's look at the next 2 weeks for the Jets. They play the Indianapolis Colts coming up. The last time I checked, we're running through the Minnesota Vikings. And then number 2, they play on a short week the Denver Broncos Thursday Night Football. Okay, this window is very short. If he's going to fire him today, let's celebrate, Jets Nation. But there's 2 weeks. Over the next 2 weeks, I think we should know whether or not that we should fire this guy and salvage what we have and move on, because it seems like there's nothing to salvage here. Now, what I will say, let me give you some positives from today. Let's hand out the Jets game ball, the post-game game ball. Almost no one deserves it, but there's 2 players that stood out in my mind. Number 1, we talked about him in the pregame. Quinton Williams, thank you. Thank you. With all this crap that all us Jet fans are going through, with horrible Adam Gase and play calling and roster management, all that, finally Quinton Williams showed up. 2 sacks. He looked terrific. Phenomenal. That's what I asked for. That's what we begged for. Please, number 3 overall pick, do something. Do anything. And Quinton Williams, the Q-man, gets, I'm handing it to him. Here you go, Q. Jets game ball. Phenomenal. He made an impact in the passing game. Great, getting 2 sacks. He made an impact in the run game. Terrific. Thank you, Quinton. Now, if he could do that on a halfway decent basis, the Jets can have building blocks to build around. Now, Marcus May, after having a career game last week, obviously struggled today. He struggled in coverage. He struggled in tackling. But if we are led to believe that some of these can be building blocks, like Marcus May, who's on the last year of his deal, Quinton Williams, another guy I'd like to share a little game ball action with, Mekhi Becton. Again, while Nick Bosa went down, that's understandable. Again, that's beyond his control. He looked pretty stout. Again, we'll have to look at the All-22 film to get a full deep dive and look at some of the grades and things. But just from the naked eye, watching the game, Mekhi Becton trending up. Thank you. He looks like a building block. Quinton Williams looks like a building block. Marcus May looks like a building block. There looks like there's some pieces here. There's not a lot, mind you, but they look like building blocks. So game ball, I don't know who else to give it to, but Quinton Williams. And if there was like an opposite of a game ball, like, whoa, his stock is trending down, I got to come out and say it. And I'll do that. I am accountable. Unlike some people, Adam Gase, I'm accountable. I am the conductor of the Chris Herndon hype train. Hello, how are you? I'm Paul Esden. And all offseason, mostly towards the end of the offseason, because I didn't want anyone in fantasy to know my love for somebody, because then they could have sniped me and knew my knowledge. But I was on the Herndon hype train. I'm like, oh, baby, Chris Herndon is going to pop this year. He's going to be terrific, right? And I'm going to be honest, Chris Herndon has been utterly disappointing, whether with drops, that Sam Darnold touchdown pass that should have been if he held on to it. He did not. Drops, sluggish. Now, part of it is play calling. For whatever God-known reason, Adam Gase refuses to throw the ball to Ryan Griffin, the tight end he just paid, and the only time we saw him was an offensive passing interference at the end of the game. Yippee. And Chris Herndon has been invisible. I don't understand. The Jets at the end of the game, had two healthy wide receivers, Braxton Berrios and Josh Malone. Why the bleep? Okay, first off, why wouldn't you throw it to Herndon with a full complement of weapons, let alone when you have two scrubs? Are you kidding me? So I don't understand why he's not even attempting to throw the ball at the tight end or running more 12 personnel for some protection for Sam and also to use the tight ends because your wide receivers suck or at the very least have little chemistry with Sam Darnold. That to me makes no sense. But when Herndon has been given opportunities through the first 2 weeks, you had a fumble, you had a touchdown drop. I mean, it's all been negative Nelly. It's all been terrible. So Herndon, you got to step up, man. And I'll say for Sam Darnold, I thought when I was watching the game, I'm like, wow, Sam Darnold here is looking pretty good. I'm like, this, not bad. I'm like, this is good. Sam Darnold seems like he's having a good game. But when you look at the box score, as we're going to kind of dive in here on the New York Jets, I do want to look at this box score. Sam Darnold, 21 of 32 for 179 yards, and he throws a touchdown. He did get sacked once. He didn't make any big mistakes per se, but it's because it was a conservative game plan. He didn't really try to go deep. He didn't really try to make anything happen. So for Sam Darnold, you look at the analytics, you look at the stats after the game, I'm underwhelmed. They padded the stats with that touchdown at the end, or else it looked even worse. He had like a yards per clip per throw. He ended up with 5.6. That's pathetic. And it was even lower than that before they padded the stats at the end of the game. So blame Sam Darnold if you want for the lack of talent. I thought he was better at throwing the football today, but overall, it was terrible. It was terrible. The conservative play calling, I think, is the thing that suffocated him. And as I said before the game, Gore's getting 15 to 20 carries. You want to know how many he got? 21. 63 yards for a nice, juicy 3 yards a clip. Thanks, Frank Gore. He ran north and south, didn't get a lot of pop. Michael Pirine, whose rookie debut today, 3 carries, 17 yards. Why not try? If nothing is working offensively, and nothing did for most of this game, they had 6 points until the end for nothing. Why not try LaMichael Pirine? Why not try? What's the worst that can happen? You score 6 points? That had already happened. So, to me, what else is there to take away from that? Wide receivers. I'm looking at this. It's just pathetic. Only 2 receivers had more than 17 yards receiving in this game. Chris Hogan, 6 catches, 75 yards, had some nice moments, and then he was injured. And then Braxton Berrios had 6 catches, 59 yards. A lot of that was padded at the end. Besides that, no other receiver on this team or tight end or other player offensively caught more than 17 yards receiving in this game. That is putrid. That's pathetic. There's no other way around it. That was embarrassing. Here's the full stat line, by the way, for Quinton Williams, the guy I gave the Jets game ball to. 7 total tackles, 4 solos, 2 sacks, 2 TFLs, a quarterback hit, and also he had that fumble. So Quinton Williams, again, whoop, great. The stock looks impressive. He looked fine. But overall, the Greg Williams defenses look like trash. Again, that's another confounding thing, is Greg Williams. This is a guy who made chicken salad out of chicken shit last year. He had nothing. Injuries annihilated at corner, linebacker, and he just had to make do with what he had. And in a similar situation this year, maybe with a few more pieces, he's done nothing. The Jets' defense has been shredded by nobodies. And that, to me, is concerning. The Jets play the Chiefs in a couple weeks. What the beep is that going to look like? That's my question. Yikes. And, again, I'm just disappointed with the effort because at my bare minimum, floor expectation, if anyone's ever seen Dodgeball, Vince Vaughn in the movie, early in the movie, he says, I keep expectations low so I don't disappoint myself. Like, real low. My expectation for this game was be competitive. And that was before the rash of injuries that happened in this game with Jimmy Garoppolo, Nick Bosa, and others, right? Be competitive. You be competitive and show a little something here, show a little something there. I'm okay. I'm happy. Again, I play to win the game. Herm Edwards. I want to win. As a Jets fan, I want to see wins. I don't want to see tanking. I've seen enough of that. I don't want to see losses. I want to see wins. I want to see W's. Okay? I am perplexed. I am confounded. At the start of this YouTube video, I stared off into the distance because I'm going to be honest, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to start this with. But I'm left with a sour taste in my mouth. I'm left feeling disgusted, and I'm left wanting answers from ownership. Get rid of this clown. Adam Gase, it's enough. It's over. It's finito. It's clear as day to all the smart people in the NFL and all the fans like me that this has failed. And here's another movie quote from Scrooged. Scrape them off. Okay? Scrape them off. It's time. Okay? It's gone on long enough. It's over. Jets lose 31-13, by the way, in this game. Stat line brought to you by ESPN. First off, for new Jet fans alike that have joined us here for this live YouTube show. Again, we do weekly New York Jets pre- and post-game shows for Play Like a Jet Zone. This banner above me, if you could see it, this is from Edward Delgado, El Chapo of Flags. Make sure you tune in every week. Subscribe if you're new. If you're old, subscribe. Whoever, subscribe. We have pre-game and post-game shows every week, every game day at noon here on a Sunday. So make sure you subscribe, hit the likes. I appreciate all the support. This is a brand new project this year, and thank you. If you'd like to listen to my audio podcast every week, every Wednesday, The Jet Zone, we have an insider from whoever the opponent is playing. Next week will be Jake Arthur of the Indianapolis Colts to preview that Jets-Colts game. Thank you for helping me vent. Thank you for joining me live to do this. It's a bit of a reprieve for myself. We will see you on Wednesday for the Jet Zone with Jake Arthur breaking it all down. And then next Sunday, we'll preview the Jets and Colts game. God help us. Please have Adam Gase fired by the time that this finishes up. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.